Everybody. Today I want to show you how to work with a color wheel. So I've got this in front of me, and you can see there's more down here. And I downloaded this from Google Drive. So let's start over here with some definitions, and then we'll apply them to the wheel here, and eventually talk about color schemes. So I'm going to come over here, and the first thing I'm going to do is figure out which layer this is on. This is, so you need to pull up your layer so you get a window, make sure layers is on, and in your layers, I believe it's under color wheel, yes. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see where it says some color right there. So if I click right here, you see how this text box is now selected by clicking on that little circle over there. It's a nice little trick. And I'm going to come in here and with the text tool, and what I'm going to do is when I see my text box sign go away, that means I'm activating the text that's already there. So if I click, you can see that it just keeps clicking inside what I have. I'm not drawing a new text box. All right, so let's start with the definition of hue. Hue is basically just the pure color. In other words, it hasn't been altered in some way yet. It hasn't been tinted, shaded, or toned. It's just a straight up color. Tint is a hue plus white, and it can be a varying degree of how much white you put in, but if you take the color and you add white to it, you are creating a tint. A shade is the hue plus black. So again, it doesn't matter how much you take, but if you take a little bit of black or a lot of black, you are shading the color. And tone is the hue plus gray. And gray really, ladies and gentlemen, is really the combination of black and white. So those are really the three color relationships, the ways you can manipulate the color. So tint, shade, and tone with a pure color here. All right, so let's go back over here. And you see I have a layer called color names. I'm going to lock that layer. You're going to see why in just a minute. And I don't need to unlock that one. And I'm looking for this layer right here that has the color wheel on it, and just found it. Great. And I'm noticing I have all this. Now let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this layer here, the sublayer that says group, because that's this available to use. And I'm going to lock the sublayer of the one that says some color, which is this. So I'm locking that. And I'm locking this over here as well. And the reason why I'm locking all this is because I only want to select this. And actually, if I just grab, I think this is all grouped together. So if I just went ahead and grabbed with the selection tool this without locking all that stuff, this would work too. But I'm going to create what's called a live paint group. So live paint groups don't work if you have text in them. In other words, if I take the word, I'll just draw the word hue over here, right? Let me show you what a live paint group is. And I'm going to create an image here like that. And just to show you what I have here. And I'm going to give this no fill, and I'm going to give this a stroke of black. Okay. So if I grab all this stuff, including the text, and I say object, live paint, make, you see nothing happens. I can't do it. But if I only grab the shapes, and I don't grab, whoopsie, and I don't grab the text, object, live paint, see how that's now available for selecting? And I hit make, and watch this. If I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to come over here, grab a color, and say, hit the letter K, or I can just go to my live paint bucket, but the K will bring you there too. And you see now if I hover over this with my live paint bucket and I click, I can fill a color in really quickly. So again, any color I want, it's pretty easy to come in here and fill this in. But it doesn't work if you accidentally grab or intentionally grab text. So I'm going to come in here now, grab all this, object, live paint, make. And now this is an editable text box, or not text box, I'm sorry, live paint group. So how do I know? If I hit the letter K, you can see that each of these highlights, as long as it's a closed line, like a closed shape, it'll work. So each of these individually works. So now I'm going to come in and start filling these in. So remember, we're talking pure hue here. So if I want to get the pure hue of red, easiest way I know how is if you just click down here and you type in 255, that's the maximum red value. And I'm going to click hue. There it is. So I just got my maximum red value. Let me disable color effects for a second. There we go. That looks more normal. And I've got that now, and I say okay, and I just hit the letter K again if I don't have it. There's my red. So same thing with, I can do this with green and blue. So if I switch this to green, 255, make red 0. Now I've got the greenest possible green I can get. I'll click there. And I'll do this one more time with blue because I can. So 255, 0 green, and I've got blue. The other colors, it gets a little bit more sensitive, or at least like sometimes if you watch this, if I combine green and blue together in exact amounts, say okay, the color that I'll click hue so you can see it, I get kind of like this aquamarine color. So I could say that's blue-green, so I'll just put that in there. And let me try it again. I'll take out 0 this and 255 red, and it's kind of weird. You end up with yellow, like yellow. So it's sort of you have to kind of get used to it because you're mixing red, green, and blue together. You're not mixing your normal colors together. So some of these you're not going to be able to do that. Like for example, if I want to get violet here, which is a combination of blue and red, really the way I do it is I just kind of scroll up and grab what I consider to be, I would say that's violet right there. And remember, I'm working with the top right-hand corner of the box up here. So my saturation and my brightness are at 100%. And I'm going to grab violet right there. So the rest of these, you're just going to have to like guesstimate. So there's red violet and blue violet, I would say is right around here, right? Let's see what that looks like. And it looks pretty similar to blue, so I think what I'm going to do for blue violet is scroll up a little bit because I want there to be a little bit of a distinction between this color, this hue, and this hue. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you're going to go all the way around the ring and fill in all the rest of these colors with the appropriate, what you feel to be the appropriate color that matches that relationship. It's pretty easy.